everybody, Martyn the Flicking Feathers again today, and I'm tying a wee foam bass slider. Excellent wee top water fly, really easy, very simple, and you don't need any fancy heads or anything. You can use your own craft foam, will do it. And you can tie it in different sizes and colours for different species. I'm going for a sort of wee olive over white baitfish style, but you can tie them like frog ear or whatever to suit your fishing situation. Now, as always, I'll put a materials list in the description, along with a link to the Patreon page for anyone who wants to support the channel and be entered into the giveaways for the flies that I'm tying. Alternatively, like, share, subscribe, watch all the way to the end. All of that helps the channel to grow. So I've got my hook, my vice. This is the Full and Mill streamer stripper. This is a size 1. Nice stinger hook. And I've just run on some Danville's and white, just flat wax nylon. I'm putting a weed guard on it. If you don't like the weed guard, leave it out, or I would suggest tie it in, and then you can always remove it if you feel it's a problem. But generally speaking, I think in situations where, you know, whether it's freshwater or saltwater, you're casting to structure and all that, the weed guard catches you more fish than it loses you, if it's fitted properly. But everybody's got their own idea. So, just get that covered, come right round the bend, like halfway, right, at least halfway. Don't go, I wouldn't go any further than that. You don't want to bring it right down to the bottom. It's got to be able to move out of the way, so that you can pull the spear of the hook into the fish's mouth. Some brush on super glue here, because this is a freshwater fly. Just rub that, take away the excess, and while it's still kind of moist, I'm going to come in with some nail polish, right, just your head cement, varnish, whatever you use, Sally Hansen's, like that on top of that still drying super glue makes for a very, very hard, very, very durable finish. So the tail, as I say, one kind of bait fishy, so I'm going to just 2 colours of Marabou. I've got a bunch of white, just taking it from a select plume. I'm not using a blood. I think the select plume's better for this. Now I might just sort of grab it, just pinch away the ends that are a wee bit too long and raggy. Length, I would say you want about nearly a hook length. So we'll just tie that off, and I'll come back. I'll tie it just to the start of the bend. Make sure it's sitting on top. Trim away. We'll get some silver Flashabou. Half a dozen strands here, and so put them to the side, on top and to the side of the white. A couple of wraps, and then I'll just fold it over. If I can grab it, there we go. So that it's the same on the other side. There we go, that's fine. Now some of them are a wee bit too long, but I've got to stagger my cut so that none of the Flashabou is the same length. At this stage I can still kind of play about with it and adjust it. I'll just sort of lock it and tidy up. Then olive. same idea. I don't think I need just as much olive as the back colour, but if you prefer, you know, to have a heavier back colour, by all means that's what you put on. Like the Marabou's not going to, the proportions of the Marabou's not going to affect how the fly fishes in any way. And you could put hackles on as well, saddle hackles if you like that. But I like the Marabou. It's nice and swimmy, and it's quite a subtle head on this. So this soft material really gets sort of the most of the movement. Just got to tidy all that up. Hit it with some cement. I'm not too worried about like absolutely covering the waste, but as I go back up here I'm going to sort of have a more or less solid thread base, and then the rest of the fly is fairly simple. I've got some standard size estas, right, or cactus chenille, and I've got these foam tabs that I've cut. They're a gap wide, right, they're a hook gap wide, and they're about a gap and a half long. You can leave them squared at the back, which I generally do when I'm tying for myself, or you can round the end off like a gurgler's lip. Entirely your call. And obviously I'm using olive to match the back colour, right? So, and as I say, this fly will work for other species, right? You could like, I mean, this is no my pattern. There's loads of them about. It's like, there's an EP fly that's kind of similar. I've seen other guys tying bass flies similar to this, and I'm sure like you could throw it into some mangrove snook. You know, maybe tying a different hook, but. So I'm wind this, and each wrap I'm folding, I'm drawing back the fibres of that chenille. I want to have a dense, especially at the back. Because I want the back end to sort of stick up, so you get a bit of a diving action. If you want it to be more flat, you can just trim that, but I want the sort of slight diving action on this. And I'm going to come to about the hook point. Catch this off. I catch it on my side because it's just easier to manage. A couple of wraps, hold that nice and tight, fold it back, and I'll just hang that away out the way on the vise. And I can put in. Oops, I nearly forgot it. Because I'm contending with the hook bend, I'm going to get just a wee tab of the same foam, and you could use white. I like a wee bit of extra buoyancy at the back, and I just come in, loose turns, don't need to be fussy, get that in. And that wee bit of extra buoyancy makes a difference to how the fly swims. Now I rounded off the edges on another one, so we'll do it in this one. And I want this coming back sort of over the tail. I don't want it way back here, I just want it sort of just coming into the tail. It's in line with the back of the hook really. So I'll catch that in, a couple of wraps, and just sort of you don't need to murder this with pressure, right? That will not come out. That's in. That's fine. Right. And you can see it wants to stand up. So that's, you know, and you can sort of decide what angle you want, right? You can use your material to adjust this. If you want it to really kind of act like a Dahlberg Diver or a stealth bomber or something, leave this up here like that and that'll push it under and give you the bubble trail. But as I don't want just as extreme, I'm going to use my chenille here, right, as much as my thread, and I'll allow that to sort of force it down slightly when I wrap against it. And again, each turn on the chenille, I'm pulling it back. I don't want spaces that teeth can get into. And I'm going to come along. So it's thirds, right, more or less. I know I can come to like halfway along what's left on the shank, and that will get me there. Nice and tight. Trim. Tie it off, sorry, don't trim it. Not yet. Fold back again on my side, just keep it out of the way. Or on your side when you're tying, obviously. Now, going to come in, big scissors, trim the top of that off, just so that when I put the glue on at the end to stick them together, that bit of foam can just go right in and it will stick lovely. And then you know, knock the corners off. Although you don't need to, I mean, you can absolutely leave it straight. So I'm going to come halfway, so it's about halfway down the tab before, catch it in, a few turns, and again I don't need to kill that with pressure, that's in, that's not coming anywhere, and then at the end I'm going to stick it, right. I'm just going to tidy up that base a wee bit. Fix it the eye because you can bump your thread easily. And then it's just got to be the same again. I'm going to get that wrap in, hold that tight and pull so that the chenille's nice and tight, and then sweeping back as you go forward. And I'm going to come right up to the eye. It's quite nice. Because I want to have a bit of space. I'm going to tie back over this chenille to like control it and create a bit of space for myself. So I'm just, any of the loose fibres, I want to get them out of the way. Come in a bit later if it really bothers you. And then I'm going to, before I do the last segment, I'm going to put the weed guard on. Right. So put it in position. See how you are, but there's fine, and just 1/8, 3mm, no more. Right, don't leave a big huge loop. Pinch it hard so you put a crease in it. Then I'm going to get my pliers. Flatten that. I'll just put it back in and I'll just check I've got the length right before I tie it off. I don't want to just assume, but that looks okay. So the flat spot should be going through the hook eye and onto that thread at either side. You fold it back. It still gives you plenty of hook eye to tie your fly on, but also this is very securely fitted. Got that. Again, trim that chenille just to let that head get in, and then sort of size this how I like it. It's a wee bit long. can just, I mean, you'll sort of get to know yourself as you tie these, like what you like. But now it's just a case of taking a straight thread turn across the top. And that just one turn, and then the first whip finish, you've put 4 turns on it. Fairly happy with that. And you can, I mean, when you're fishing, you can tune these, you know, you can, if it's pulling to one side or something, you can easily adjust it. Another whip finish. I'm going to come back with my super glue. Watch that tail get it out of the way. And so this wee back piece is quite secure, it's just a wee tab, right? I don't need to glue that down, but I'm going to glue this to it. You can sort of shape it. And then underside of the next one, and I hold it, and I'm slightly curving it, right? I'm putting a wee bit of pressure on the sides. And much the same with this one. It's a nice wee shape. So you've got this, it's like, I don't know, like an armadillo or something, right? Like the back of a prawn. He's just lying like shingles. Now, I don't use super glue for the thread wraps. What I like is just head cement. Just saturate that. Make sure there's plenty. Wipe off any excess off the foam. And the fly's done. So there you go, that's it. A simple slider, diver, made out of sheet foam, Marabou and Estas, right? Basic cheap materials. But don't think it's just a cheap alternative, it does behave differently. Like the last video I did was the Sneaky Pete's, they're a lot more buoyant with the big foam heads. This is a much more subtle fly. Great coming in between lily pads, wee twitches, stop. And if you want to, you could put legs on it, you can, you know, you take this as a platform and just go wild basically. So I hope that was useful, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, remember to give me a thumbs up below, and I'll see you for another one. Tight lines guys, bye.